have it. So I told you it's really very tough to hold a show, no, especially if we're doing this online and on different parts of the globe. But nevertheless, here we have it. So hopefully those guys who are with us a while ago, you can still make it. Again, just to give you a short introduction, once upon a time, 2012, I organized an event called Philippine Beverage Congress. And obviously because I wanted to have a separate event when it comes to the beverage industry here in the Philippines, way back. That was like 8 or 9 years ago. And during that time, also, I would say the World Flair Association was kind of big during that time, and the flag bearer, if I may say so, is this gentleman. So he's here right now, no, and it was I would say a very big experience. Hey, there you go, Tom. Is my audio clear?
Sorry, yes, very clear. I'm so sorry that I missed the original time. I do apologize.
No worries, no worries.
Completely my fault, and I completely did up. So I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, I was telling the audience, it's really very tough to hold a live show like this, especially. We come from different parts of the world. Time difference is 8 hours. Good morning to you. Yep.
Good morning.
And of course, here is what time is it? It's 7:20 already, and it's a busy day actually. And then I don't. Of course, it's good. I'm happy you're busy. I'm happy you're up late last night. It's better than bumming around and doing nothing, of course. At the end of the day, that's why there's a show like this one. We have 3 core values: be inspired, be informed, and be involved. And of course, no matter where we are in any part of the world, we always make sure to keep posted, because like right now in the Philippines, slowly but surely, some of the bars are able to open and serve liquor, but with a bit of a twist. Meaning, because we serve food first officially, then serve drinks before we can go legal. I mean, once then we get a go from the local government. Okay, so going back to my story. So 2012 was actually the time I met this our UK flair bartender, and at that time his hair wasn't that as you see right now.
was it 2012 when I was there in the Philippines?
Skinhead. Yeah. I mean, this guy sported all types of hairstyles, from semi-bald to dreadlocks, and now
it really annoys people when they want to do any promotional photos of products and items. They've got a choice between dreadlocks, curly, skinhead, everything. And they're like, when they have a photo, 6 months later, it's different. So people don't believe that it's me. That's the only downfall of changing your hairstyle.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like I was telling everybody a while ago, WFA during the time was really hot, and I wanted to be the one to bring over and let people know about it. And of course, moving fast forward, Filipinos are connected with some of the flair bartenders all over the world. In fact, one perfect example of our top flair bartenders, I'm sure you know him or them, Shalom Recto, who is now I think brand ambassador for Hendrick's Gin or William Grant's in Singapore. And
Right.
then you have Brian Bonifacio, who works in employees only. All right.
Yeah.
So, wow, I see all of them piling up here. So, some of them were able to watch you actually in Crossroads way back 2012. Okay, so actually, guys, just to summarize just to give you what we plan to discuss for today, especially at this time of pandemic, I did see his post regarding being successful in the social media platform. In fact, we will touch on that a little bit apart from his early beginnings until where he is now, and what keeps him busy as of the moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we call him Dangerous Tom Dangerous Dyer.
Well, funnily enough, I've kind of been trying to get away from that name, Dangerous Dyer. It was a nickname given to me by my next door neighbor many, many years ago, named after a famous British comedian called Brian Connolly. He used to do a sketch show, like he used to do different acts, and one of his acts was Dangerous Brian, where Dangerous Brian would perform death-defying stunts, it was all comedy and all crap, but I thought it was hilarious. So my next door neighbor called me Dangerous Dyer, and I went with that as my sort of stage name. But the only thing that still ties me to that is my email address, which is still dangerousdyer@gmail.com, which I'm still trying to change slowly. But yeah, that was one of my many nicknames over the years.
All right, so let's get maybe just a short brief. So, who is Tom Dyer for those who just watch you now, or who just see you in social media?
Well, yeah, I've been in the bartending trade or in the bar world, hospitality world, for 22 years now. And I've done everything from cleaning tables, unblocking toilets with my hands, collecting glassware, serving drinks. I've managed bars, supervised bars, open bars, closed bars, run bartending schools, trained thousands of bartenders worldwide in flair, mixology, and bartending techniques, worked with big brands across the world. Excelled in the flair bartending world, and now I focus on online YouTube videos, social media accounts, and building my bartending schools that I have with Mr. J. Detroit. So I've been around for a hell of a long time in the industry, but constantly learning still, never stopping to learn and try and improve myself and learn from others, because our world is constantly changing. So that's one of the things I try to make sure that I don't get stuck in my way, and always try and develop with how the time's changing.
Yep. Well said. By the way, guys, Tom signed 1,000 certificates back in 2012. I think 700 to 1,000 certificates. If you still remember that, it was on video actually.
There's a video on my Facebook account of me signing them actually. Then my wrists out after that.
Yeah, man. So, okay. So, maybe what was for those who don't know, Tom Dyer is one of the most, how do you call this? One of the top flair bartenders and multi-awarded flair bartender in the universe. Maybe in Milky Way also, if there's a flair bartending competition there. But what's your most memorable competition?
The last one.
All the championships you've won. Oh, the last one, okay. The battle team.
There is obviously there's a few, and there's two which stick to my mind every single time. The last one, of course, which was my greatest routine I ever made, and was my most memorable, emotional. Everything. It's had the most traction online and things like that. And then there was another one which is called the Prague Bartending Challenge, which to date, when I'd done that competition, when I did that competition, it was the greatest crowd, the greatest routine I'd had on stage, and one of the biggest receptions that I'd had from a crowd after finishing my routine. So you don't forget moments like that when there's that level of appreciation for what you've just performed. So those two stick out to me the most, and it's an ego thing. It's a hugely an ego thing, that's for sure. But as I said to many people in the past, flair bartending is a massive ego wank, as Steve Stretch Harmon likes to call it. And we wouldn't be on stage if we didn't want or like the attention. So that's part of what happens, really. So when you do get a certain level of appreciation from the audience, it's really nice to have it, and you're going to remember it. So those two stick out to me.
All right. Okay. Also, guys, if you are not aware, one of the how do you call this, mecca of flair bartending competitions is, I'd say, once upon a time in UK, it's called the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're comfortable to answer that, but what did you feel when Roadhouse closed curtains?
So just quickly to go back for those who are watching that don't know who the Roadhouse is, or what the Roadhouse is, or was, should we say, it was the mecca of the flair bartending world. It was it was the competition that everybody wanted to win. It was it was the longest running competition, I think, maybe with Quest for the Best, something like this. But recently the Roadhouse venue, the nightclub or bar, closed its doors. And when it closed, it was obviously very sad for me. It was my second home here in London for many, many years. It was where I cut my teeth as a flair bartender. It was where I competed for the first time. It was the first time I saw a flair bartending competition. It was where I competed for the last time. It was where I was lucky enough to make a lot of money because I won several competitions there. Okay. So it made a huge impact in my life and many, many people's lives in the flair bartending world. And when it closed, it was very sad, but at the same time, nothing lasts forever. Everything changes. And remembering it as the legendary place that it was, I think, is a better way for it to finish than for it to turn into something that is not remembered or had a bad reputation at the end. Sometimes these places can die a really horrible death and be, you're only remembering it for the last few years that it was open. And I think now that it's closed, it's still going to be remembered as this legendary place. And who's to say that the owners of Roadhouse in the future won't want to open it again? You never know. We just know that it's closed. We don't know what they're talking about. That when COVID finishes and everyone's back to normal, Roadhouse was a money-making machine. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that. If you've ever been there, it was always busy every weekend. And, if you're owning a place like that, you're just going to be, well, everything's back to normal. We know how to open venues. What's to say that we can't just reopen it again? So maybe it'll come back. I don't know if it will, but I don't think that it should, in my opinion. But yeah, it was a legendary place.
Okay, so guys, that will be part of the history books. Maybe in the future, somebody will write a book about that, or maybe do a vlog. Maybe Tom will do a vlog about that in the future. We never know. So at least the memories stay. Well, the Roadhouse memories will be immortalized and live forever. Okay, there's just a shout out. Somebody gave you a long message. Tom gave me bottles. Gift me a bottle because it's Christmas. No, I need a bottle and I'm from Uzbekistan. I love my job. I'm 17 years old. Oh, okay. Well, one more year for you, my friend. Please take me attention. Okay.
So, just to answer first of all, Paul Bertin, EBS in London is still open. It's still open. To Mav Lonov, I would love to be able to give a bottle and a tin and a gift to absolutely everyone. That asks me, first of all, if I did, I would be completely broke. Contrary to belief, and I don't know if people do believe this or not, I am not a rich person. I do not earn enough money to be able to give everybody equipment and bottles and tins. I do giveaways, excuse me, on my YouTube channel, and that's the fairest way that I can do it. I do a giveaway every video now, and I give away a bottle, and I give away shakers and grail jiggers and whatever else. So that's your best chance of getting anything free from me. But I think people don't realize, what happens behind the social media accounts, what happens behind the YouTube videos. There's a hell of a lot of work and investment and time and money and effort that goes into doing all these things. It's not just all sunshine and rainbows and collect the checks. It doesn't work like that. You only get to this point from working your absolute bollocks off to build up, a steady income, a steady life as a bartender. I'm never going to be a rich person. Anybody who's a bartender is never going to be a rich person, depending on your definition of rich, of course. I just take each opportunity that comes my way, and I try and help and support others as much as I can, but I've got to take care of myself as well at the same time.
Of course. Especially now, especially nowadays.
Especially now, and the best way I take care of myself is by keeping on moving. When I started out, I couldn't afford to buy a flare bottle. I remember my first flare bottle I bought, was my bar manager at the time, which was Jody Myers. Nice, there you go. He said to me, there's these plastic practice flare bottles that we can get, but they come from Canada. They come from Canada. Do you want me to get you one? I said, how much are they? He said, well, they cost about £25, which is about, let's say $30 US at the time. Plus shipping from Canada to the UK was probably another $30. So that's about $60 for one bottle. I said, I can't afford that. I said, I just can't get it. He said, look, I'll pay for it for you, and you pay me back, which we did. And now that's how I got my first flare bottle, and then I saved and I worked, and every tips I put some aside and I put that to one side to pay for my first flare bottle. But I never ever asked for handouts. I never asked for anything for free from anybody, because if you're gonna start asking people for handouts and for free stuff, you're never gonna learn how to work for it and get it yourself. You're never ever gonna achieve the dreams that you want to achieve. If you want to achieve your dreams, you've got to go out there and get them. You've got to work your ass off. You've got to take every opportunity which comes your way. If somebody offers you something for free, great,
Yeah.
Good for you. But never expect it. Never ask for it. That's my motto, and it happens a lot in the bartending world. Bartenders go and visit other bartenders in the bar, and they expect a free drink. Never expect a free drink. Always be willing to pay for your way and pay for your drinks, because then if you do get something for free in the end, it's a bonus for you, and it's going to motivate you to work harder and do better in the future. I believe.
I couldn't agree more. Very well said. Okay, so now let's go to since you already started with social media. So among Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Maybe let's go to your biggest account, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have like 40K plus subscribers in YouTube. Yeah.
I just went past 50K a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, so maybe that's Instagram.
Really cool. Sorry?
Yeah. Maybe that's Instagram. It's either one or the other. But anyway, let me ask you, when did that shoot up? When did you get your first 1,000? Do you remember your first 1K subscribers?
I don't, because I started my YouTube channel many years ago. I think my first video was posted in 2007, 2008. And I didn't know really the power of YouTube, how it works. I just posted a video. People posted videos on YouTube. I posted a video. And then I didn't touch it. Didn't know that you could get paid from it. And then when I stopped competing and I was getting asked advice from people all the time, how do I do this? How do I improve? Look at my videos. I can't answer every single message that I get. It's just, you know, it would take up too much of my time, unfortunately. I wish I could, but it's just not possible. So that's why I started doing YouTube. I was like, right, I just put the camera there and I started recording. And I did a blog on this actually a couple of weeks ago. But at that point, when I started to do the first bit of filming, I think I was on 400 subscribers. And those subscribers had just come over the 10 years or whatever it was that just my YouTube channel had just been ticking away. And then it must have been a few months, and then I got my first 1,000. And then that's when I could monetize and start adding YouTube ads and whatnot. And then it just kind of, it snowballed from there, and I just kept uploading videos, and I kept looking at YouTube tutorials, let's say, and learning from people on YouTube. I watched so many YouTube videos on how to make videos, how to grow my channel, how to use tags and keywords and titles and thumbnails and editing, and you know, what should I invest in first? What content should I post? I watched other YouTubers. I was looking at Slick Bartender, who's absolutely rocking it right now.
Yeah, man.
Hats off to Vlad, because I know how much work must go into every video that he's making.
Yeah.
And I can't believe there's enough time to do it, to be honest. So well done, Vladimir. But it was all about starting. And that's the biggest thing that any YouTuber will say, is that you just have to start. You just got to start making videos. And it's slow, tedious process, and it takes time. But the more that you start posting and the more you learn from each one of your videos, eventually you'll get these few videos which will just go viral a little bit. I don't believe I've had a real viral video yet. I haven't reached 1 million views on many of my videos. One of them is close to 500,000. So I haven't had one which has gone absolutely mental. Lad, if you watch his channel, he's had 10 at least. And in the last 6 months, he's probably had 10 videos that have gone viral.
Yeah. And he's a TikTok king. He's a TikToker. He's a TikToker also. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's almost at 5 million on 6. And
unbelievable.
He really understands the social media game, because it is a game. And I had this conversation with someone recently. Social media, if you look at it as a game and not as, I don't know, just look at it as a game. It's a game to try and win at. That's it. Don't try and look at it in any other way. Don't be disheartened by it. Don't take things personal on it. It's a game that you're playing to try and get more views and subscribers. And it takes time, do you know what I mean? If you've got the time throughout the day to add to it or to put into it, you'll get out from it. If you only do 2 hours a day or a week on social media, it will show in your followers and your likes and your engagement. If you're working on it every single day, 8 hours a day, making videos, improving as much as you can, posting on all the channels, keeping people updated, doing the right hashtags, keywords, posting at the right time of the day, targeting to the right audiences, and following a certain niche, then your channel will grow. And that's the game that I'm constantly playing, and that's why I wish I could spend more time on it. It's not a full-time job for me, you know. The reason I missed the first video call was because I got stuck into editing, and when I get stuck into editing, you end up like this, and then time just disappears, and you get distracted by it. And I wish I could do it 8 hours a day. But I've got 5 bartending schools to run with Jay and other things that I need to take care of, and I'm happy for that as well. So it's a very, very fun game. It's very frustrating sometimes, but I mean, I believe that if I had enough time throughout the day, I could win a lot better at the game, let's say. But at the moment, I'm enjoying playing it and being a part of the world, and I hope that my videos and my content can help other people and inspire other people and teach other people some knowledge and experience which I didn't have when I started. And that's the aim of what I'm doing, is to try and excite, inspire, motivate, entertain, make people laugh, make people smile with the content I put out.
All right. Okay. Yep. Very well said. I feel every bit of what you said. Obviously, I'm just starting out also. I mean, that's the thing with people think that once you are a partner of YouTube, it's like what you said. You earn bucks already. No. In fact, it's the opposite. It's
Can I put into context for people, and I'll tell people exactly how much I earn every month, right? So I have 50,000 subscribers. The amount of work, first of all, that I put in to make the videos, I'm doing one video per week, and plus all the social media that goes with that helps promote the videos on YouTube. The video takes, let's say, two hours to film. Then editing can take anywhere between 2 and 6 hours, depending on the length of the video. Plus, you've got to do all the GIFs and the promotions. You're looking at a good 20 hours per video, roughly. Times that by 4, that's 80 hours. And I get roughly £130 a month for that. That's about $150. So you do 150 divided by 80. Is that right? Am I doing that right?
Yeah. 80 hours, yeah.
That's almost $2 an hour I'm getting paid for the work that I'm doing. So you're not even getting a minimum wage for the amount of hours that you put in there.
Yeah.
So it is by no way a money-making tool at this stage. Once you get to the stage where Vladimir's at and you're getting millions of views, then it becomes a more lucrative business and you focus on it a lot more. But it is what it is, and as you're learning as well, it's a constant battle and takes up time. And you've got to love what you're doing. You've got to enjoy putting these videos out there and hoping that they're helping people. Otherwise, you will stop. Simple as that.
Exactly. So, in fact, now I'm at 400 plus videos, and keeps me motivated to reach. Well, supposedly, if there wasn't a flood and COVID, I would have reached 1,000 videos for this year. But I mean, next year, once everything's good, hopefully you can push harder also. Okay. Somebody's saying I'm still waiting for a new video of Flair bartending.
It's coming up. I've got a new YouTube video coming out today in just over 3 hours. It's going to be live on my channel. It's a good one.
So now let's go. Okay, I forgot to ask this question. So do you have like a YouTube mentor, or you just studied your way through YouTube?
Studied my way through it. Studied my ass off. I watched channels like Think Media. I found them very helpful in terms of starting a channel. You just gotta start. You just gotta Google or YouTube search. Starting a YouTube channel, building your subscribers, how to use keywords, how to use hashtags. And the more you watch those videos, the more you'll be suggested by YouTube for similar videos. And you've got to watch them, take your time, learn, and each time you upload, try and improve. I mean, there's one thing I'm still very terrible at, and that is... or still learning at, let's say. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And that is my thumbnails and my titles. The thumbnail and the title that you put out is a huge impact on the video views. But if you look at my subject matter at the moment, it's predominantly flair bartending. I was going through so many different subject matters, from vlogs at the beginning and flair teaching and cocktails and techniques. There's too much. So now I've focused it to flair, and in the new year, I'm going to bring something else back to the channel. So it's going to be focused on sort of 2 aspects, basically. Because I do want to grow my numbers, and I don't believe that only with flair bartending can I grow to the numbers that I want to get to. Flair is a very, very specific and unique niche in bartending, and I don't want to stop doing that, and I believe I can bring a lot to the table for people. But I do want to help grow my numbers, and I do believe what I will bring to the channel in the new year will only enhance the flair side and vice versa. They'll help each other out. I hope. That's
All right, right. No, you're there. You're half a silver play button. I mean, so
yeah.
I think see, you're speaking the YouTube language, so to speak. So, okay, take us through the situation there in UK now.
With COVID and everything else.
Yeah.
It's a mess, man. It's a mess. I mean, I'm lucky enough to also speak to people in other countries, and I'm currently, I'm going to be moving permanently to Portugal soon. And one thing I've noticed from speaking to other people in different countries and seeing what's happening in Portugal and in London, it's the same problems everywhere. There just seems to be in different countries a different level of dictatorship or control from the government, depending on how much fear the people in that country live in. So, if you look at the UK compared to Portugal, for example, I do believe that there's a lot more people in the UK who are a bit more woken up, let's say, to what the governments and what is going on. Now, I don't know, I'm not going to make any assumptions, but my point is that there's a lot of people who are very anti the government and what is happening, and won't just follow blindly what they're told. Whereas in other countries, I think people follow a lot more blindly without questioning the authority. Anyway, in the UK, the biggest problem at the moment is obviously the same everywhere else. Hospitality is being used as the scapegoats to try and control the virus. Notice that it's never to stop the virus. It's trying to control the virus, because they'll never be able to stop it. 2 to 3% of the noted cases are coming from hospitality, or were coming from hospitality when we were open. Yet it's the first place that they close, and a lot of bars have gone down. A Roadhouse we've already spoken about, Milk and Honey, which was around for as long as I know, as long as I've been a bartender, 20 years, that's closed down. And now we're seeing some of the big retail shops shut their doors. Debenhams, Topshop, and whatever else, they're all going into different levels of liquidation or administration or whatever it may be. And I do think there's a certain level of attack. I think some of this is a tactical move from some big companies. But at the end of the day, it's a mess. People are being destroyed. Livelihoods are being destroyed more than what the virus would do if we were allowed to just run around and do what we want, basically. And I just find it completely baffling as to how people can follow blindly what they're being told all the time. It really boggles my mind how people will just say, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, and do what they're told without questioning it. And it's like, well, why would you do what you're told by a government, a leader of a government, without questioning it? But if somebody else, stranger on the street, told you what to do, you would question it immediately. You know, people seem to think that everybody has everybody else's best interests at heart. No, they don't. Like, I don't have the stranger on the street's best interests at heart. That's just a fact of reality. I respect and will help that person if necessary. But the best interests I have at heart are my own, and my close family, friends, and the people around me. No one else, unfortunately. You know, they're not my best interests. And if people think that that's what's happening, and you know, everybody has everyone's best interests at heart, you know, do all these things to help protect everybody else. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. You know, it's. I don't believe what we're being fed is 100% true. I don't believe that it's. I don't believe that the hospitality industry are gonna survive as well as they should if they could stay open. and I think we're not through the worst of it yet. You know, there's going to be a protest on the 7th of December in London at Parliament Square, which Alex Kretena and the like are putting together. So anybody who is watching this from the UK who wants to get involved, 7th of December, Parliament Square, we're all going to be down there protesting against these issues that they put in place. Hello, Tomek Malik.
Hey, Tomek.
And if you ask Tomek, I bet there's been protests over there about the situation. Sure. Barry asked why I cut my hair off. There's a video on my YouTube channel about that, Barry. You can go and watch that. It's called Why
I know that. But watch it.
But there's been the reason I mentioned the other countries at the beginning of this answering this question is because it's the same issues. There's protests in Lisbon right now. The restaurant managers and bar owners are actually going on hunger strike to protest about what is happening over there, because they're actually saying that no bars can exist anymore. They're saying that bars cannot exist. You have to have food, and it's like they're just making shit up as they go along to try and cover their own asses from the previous mistakes that they made. And I just don't understand how people can follow blindly. And one thing that I've been saying to people for a little while is, number one, stop getting tested. Because at the end of the day, before COVID came along, if you had a cough and a cold, you drank some water, maybe a bit of lemon juice, maybe a hot toddy, you got in bed, went to sleep, and you fucking passed it through. Do you know what I mean? You just let it go, take its course. That's what you do when you're sick. And the survival rate for this so-called virus is 99%. Why do you need to go and get somebody to tell you that you've got this fucking virus if the chances of your survival, like flu, is 99%? You know, don't go and get a test. Don't tell people that you've got it. Just stay at home, be a normal human being, stay away from other people, let the virus pass through your system, and then carry on with your life as per usual. The numbers will go down, the cases will go down, and we'll all go back to normal as usual. Why do I need to go and have somebody tell me that I have a certain virus when I know that I'm sick? You know what I mean? That's one thing. And the second thing is, stop believing what people are telling you about everything, about the whole situation. Question it, disobey what you're being told, and start to find your own truths and make your own decisions, because at the end of the day, we've only got a finite amount of time on this world, and I don't want anybody else to tell me what I need to do and cannot do with that time. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yep. Oh, it does a lot. I mean, it's kind of interesting how each of us view this thing that's going on around us. In fact, the same thing here we're not as we're not as woke, we're not as outspoken in terms of going to the streets and having a rally, specifically with the bar industry, as far as I know and as far as I observe. But then again, to each his own, and wherever you are, it's also about adapting to what's going on. In fact, my heart goes out, especially with the curfew that has been imposed. I think the last time I read, you were cut off at 10 o'clock in the evening or 9 in the evening.
Bars have been closed for the last 4 weeks. We're actually reopening tomorrow. So and there's a curfew of 11 p.m. I think the curfew is for tomorrow.
Okay. So I remember that kind of mechanics that's going on in your part of the world. We had that in the early stages when there was no more prohibition, so to speak. Nowadays, as long as you have the proper, if I'm not mistaken, as long as you have the proper documentation, you can stay open until like 12 midnight. So it's yes, in Philippines. So I guess at the end of the day, of course, we do our own speakeasy style, in terms of serving. It's funny here, man. I mean, if you come over, like let's say on the second floor, So we're like not practicing social distancing. For example, I won't name the bar. So, but there's like a guy that will tip you once the police are on their way, and we were like separate from each other when they're in the bar. And they're like fucking, it's like a movie. So.
I've heard, sorry to interrupt, I've heard of a few bars starting to go speakeasy style, you know? And there's one thing that people need to understand is that you cannot keep people away from people. It's a fact. There's going to be, if they keep people away from other people, it's only a matter of time before things start happening illegally. Speakeasy bars open up a lot more, raves and parties start happening a lot more, and it will get out of hand. So it's like the age-old question about drugs and legalizing drugs to control it. You know what I mean? They may as well just open up all the fucking doors and let people carry on so that they can control it better rather than trying to lock everybody in. It's just
Exactly. Okay, yeah. Okay, so actually we're down to our... okay, let's do a quick read-through. We have a lot of comments from your followers mostly. Okay. So Sir Ian joined us, Aris, and then Panka, Benkato. These are all your friends. Okay, Tom. Okay, we're done with that. As always, okay, Big Eye Studio, this is Lester. This is one of your fans here in the Philippines. Great content coming out from your YouTube channel every week. I always look forward to it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, tell about your experience at Domino's Bar in Albuferia. Okay, maybe some other time. Let's move forward because I don't really want to keep Tom is busy as a bee. Okay, Mr. Tom Dyer is one of my inspiration to learn how to flair bartend from the beginning. So Tomic gave a big wave. Okay, the Rasta hair. Okay, so maybe my next question to you is, how do you manage? You mentioned you're running different schools, okay? So like 5 schools, if I'm not mistaken. How are you able to, okay, how are the schools in terms of enrollment and is school still, okay, at this day and age, is the school aspect still good, you know, in your part of the world?
Different countries, different answers. So, for example, London School, where I am right now, this is our office. I mean, it's not very exciting, so people can see. You know, it's just full of stuff. This is our lovely wine cellar wallpaper. Anyway, London School, we rely on a lot of international students. So the London School has taken a big hit. We're open at the moment. Anybody who wants to book courses, we're open, and it's the best time to come to us and book because we have less students, so it's a lot more space for everybody. Paris School is still rocking hardcore. The Paris School relies on a lot of French students from before COVID as well, so they're still traveling there, they're still moving around, and that doesn't seem to be as affected. The schools in Italy, which is Milan and Rome, they're doing well. Not amazing, still down on numbers. I mean, Paris is still down on numbers as well, but they're still moving, and again, Italian schools rely on Italian bartenders or Italian students, so it's much easier. Obviously, like I said, going back to London, we rely on people flying in, but travel is so restricted these days that we're not getting those numbers. And then the Cape Town school as well relies a lot more on international numbers, and it had a very, very tough time over the last 6 to 8 months, but it's slowly starting to pick up again. And how I manage to run these schools is that we have a business partner in each location. So in Italy, we have a business partner in France and in South Africa. And the business partner basically takes care of the general, well, the stuff that needs to be taken care of on site, so to speak. So they're sort of dealing with, a lot more of the admin side of things. But we have staff meetings. I speak with our school managers and our head instructors every week. We have a task manager app which we use called Trello, where we keep an eye on everything that needs to happen in the school and beyond. We have because we're a franchise, we basically have a team of people in Barcelona which help in terms of marketing and promotions and things like this. So it's not just me and one other guy who needs to take care of it. It's a whole team of people that are involved in making sure these schools run well, and it's ensuring that everybody knows what their roles and responsibilities are, so that my job as an owner essentially comes down to, let's say, puppeteering everything, managing everything to make sure the person that I speak to can relay that information off onto the next person and vice versa, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a constant, communication with people to make sure that, everybody knows what they need to do and is making it happen. So.
Okay. Actually, Risa, I asked, a little bird told me, I don't know, EBS contacted him if he's interested to run EBS here in the Philippines. I don't know if that you're aware of that. So he did consulted me about it. Okay, go ahead, answer it first before I give a piece.
EBS are always looking to open more schools, and there is that possibility that it's going to start coming. Hang on, I'm getting past a note. Yes. It says lunch ? And I said yes.
Yes.
Well, I'm promising. Sorry.
Yeah, we're almost wrapping up.
No problem.
Yeah.
There's no wrong. But I'm pretty sure that EBS will always be looking at the potential of opening more schools worldwide, and I know that there will be those options and those opportunities coming. I mean, I can't speak for the owners, because I don't own EBS. We just own a franchise. There's the main partners, the owners. I don't know what exactly they have planned, but I wouldn't put it past them that potentially they're going to start looking at opening up schools in other countries.
Yeah, well, I did tell him, I know EBS. In fact, I know Tom Dyer. But weigh things first. I always tell him that, because, of course, putting up a school or a franchise is a big thing to do, especially now. I told you to weigh things first. I mean, it's excellent. EBS is a known brand, but see first, study what we have right now, especially, how do you call it? In fact, in our school here, the main challenge is where to put the students after they graduate. Because there's a long queue of people wanting to work. So that's a whole other topic that needs to be discussed. But if EBS does come here, I mean, that would be awesome. So let's see what happens. Okay, so Lester asked me a question. Actually, my answer here, do you think the bar industry and hospitality tourism events will be open at full force in 2021? Okay, the answer here, Lester, is I don't know yet. We can always hope for the best, just as any other country. But like I said, based on my observation, especially here in my city, restaurants are opening up, bars are opening up, people are serving beers with some restrictions. People are tired of staying at home. People are sick of staying at home. People miss hugging each other, although not, of course, outside discreetly. So it looks hopeful. It looks like there's a light now, but overall, we still need to know if the vaccine will take effect. I mean, again, like I told, I agree with what you say, Tom, but of course here we have our own problems to also take care of. So we'll see, but as what I always say, also make this the time to study and strengthen yourself. Who knows? Once we open, there'll be a big flair competition or a mixology competition somewhere around the world, or we meet in Singapore again, something like that. So
don't stop moving, man. This is my advice.
Yep.
To people. Don't stop moving. If you stop, you kill yourself, basically.
Exactly.
Keep on moving, keep on doing stuff, keep you on learning, improving, educating, helping, sharing, and everything will turn out okay in the end.
All right, exactly. Okay, so I think I think we're good before Instagram cuts us off. I think we've covered what we plan to cover in this particular episode. So, any words of inspiration from you, Tom? Final word.
Enjoy the journey. There's a lot of people that I speak to, and especially the new generation, without sounding like an old grumpy bastard. A lot of people, we get everything immediately these days. You want to see a video, you can see it immediately. And there's a mentality of people don't want to work hard for stuff. I'm not saying that's everybody, but my experience tells me that the journey that you take is a lot more enjoyable than the final destination. And the best example I can give to that is winning a competition, winning a roadhouse or whatever it may be, is a moment's glory. Great, it's fantastic, and you can say that I won that comp, but the journey to get to that point was way more enjoyable, a lot more time, a lot more emotions, a lot more learning experiences and everything else. So don't rush to get to what you need. Enjoy the process that you need to get there. Do you know what I mean? And consistently try and improve and learn from everything that you do. Don't just get stuck in your ways that this is the only way that I know to do this and that is it. Constantly learn, constantly improve yourself, put the hard work in, because you'll look back and you enjoy all of those parts a lot more. I don't look back at winning a competition and remember that specific moment. I enjoy the time on stage doing that routine. I enjoy the time practicing for that routine. I can tell you stories about all of that, but the story of winning is 2 seconds. Means nothing at the end of the day. So enjoy the journey. Don't stop moving and keep learning and improving yourselves.
Okay, very well said. So, I won't keep you, Tom. It's lunchtime, and again, thank you for guesting. It's always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. It's been a while, and hopefully, you enjoy your trip to Portugal, and we'll see you in some part of the world. All right. So I think that's it.
All the best.
Anytime.
Everybody. Take care.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard it from Dangerous Tom Dyer. So, but he wanted to remove the dangerous nickname. But kidding aside, I believe 100% with what Tom advised us when it comes to keep moving. Okay, I think I said this also with regards to this COVID situation. COVID didn't stop the world from turning. Okay, COVID is just happened to just pass by. All right, so basically it's up to us to determine where we're headed. Okay, so I'm very thankful to those who stayed and joined us. To the new friends, please follow me here on Instagram, and please subscribe also to my YouTube channel, TOMA Sessions. And to those who came back, there you go, guys. So you finally we get the chance to hear it from Tom Dyer. So, of course, wherever you are in that part of the world, just keep on pushing, moving it forward, and like he said, whether it be on social media or part of the world, you have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the journey. Of course, There's this saying, success is not forever and failure isn't fatal. So with that being said, guys, this is Richie Cruz of TOMA Sessions. Be inspired, be informed, and be involved. See you on our next episode. Toma na!